a wonderful place existed.
The Athenians called it
The
Acropolis. Free expression, ethics, art, philosophy. The Acropolis heralded the democracy. But if I told you the Acropolis has returned. Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.
Massive sale going on right now over on the Acropolis News.com. Just use promo codes ANN and July 4 in order to get your first month free and 20% off all auto renews, respectively. With the premium subscription, you get access to all the premium content on the site, like this premium article where I went over the validity of time travel and whether or not it's a question of science. Spoiler alert, it's not. But if you want the full details, you can go to theacropolisnews.com/products, purchase a premium subscription, and make sure to type in those coupon codes.
Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Trevor Report. We got a lot to go into, but first we have to debunk a hoax. We gotta talk about something insane and crazy that AOC said. Well, it's insane and crazy for her to say because it reflects reality, and we'll get into why. So let me just get on into it. Let's hear what she has to say.
There were actual officers working with this, and we never got to the bottom of that, and we never got any answers about that. And then to this day, we're just supposed to pretend that that never happened. I have no idea what happened to the people on the inside who were very clearly sympathetic with what was going on and opening the doors wide open for that. And I'm supposed to sit here and pretend like none of that ever happened. And then right afterwards, you have a massive, you just have this idea that throwing money at that problem is going to make it go away without any accountability. And so this is where these things are breaking.
Okay, you heard her right. There were police officers that opened the door for people on the 6th of January, 2021. You can throw as much money as you want at the problem, it will not solve the problem. AOC is saying things that reflect reality, possibly for the first time in her life, and it's only because she's uncomfortable and presumably doesn't have her script, doesn't have it's nighttime, so she doesn't have tomorrow's script or whatever. Probably things like that. I'm a big fan of calling her Alexandria Ocasio-Robespierre because there is a moral ugliness to her. But there are other questions aside from the police opening the doors on that day. One of the easiest answers to that is those police officers were just regular citizens, and this is the people's, and the U.S. Capitol is not sacred or hallowed grounds. It is the people's house. So that might be one of the reasons why the doors were open. Also, not everyone that was there was rioting. There were some people rioting in the corner, but it was mostly a bunch of boomers just walking around. But when boomers walk around, that's an insurrection. I have a question. To be fair, this guy was criminally charged or whatever, but he was paid $35,000. Big fan of talking about This guy, John Sullivan. He was paid $35,000 by one corporate press outlet and $35,000 by another corporate press outlet. John Sullivan, who heralds the website Insurgents United, a leftist insurgency group, because he was too radical for the communist insurrectionary group Antifa. So, yeah. There's also Alexandria Ocasio-Robespierre has gone out of her way to lie about the events and surrounding the 6th of January 2021, lying about basically everything, including by the way, the levels of how much of a victim, if you're listening to this on Spotify, I just did quotes with my hands, she was of it. She was evacuated before anything happened because there was a separate bomb threat or whatever that turned out to be nothing. And she took to Instagram later, and it's why I call her Robespierre, or Alexandria Ocasio-Robespierre, is because she just lies about her political opposition because she's trying to dehumanize her political opposition in order to create some kind of, I don't know, public safety committee that involves guillotining, that involves bringing a guillotine and decapitating all of your political opposition. And I genuinely do believe this. There's Mark Milley and Nancy Pelosi, and how they basically... Wait, why do I have those links? I don't need those links if I have this. Sorry about that. My notes aren't as organized as I wish they would be. But this literally... This is late in last year, so I'm going to try my best with my memory here. Mark Milley was talking to China about what our government is doing, going out of his way to undermine Trump on basically every level for multiple years. Nancy Pelosi, who for whatever reason was in charge of, she's on the National Security Committee, so that's why she's in charge. But Nancy Pelosi struck down bringing the National Guard in 6 times. 6 times. And then there was an insurrection. Again, I'm doing that with quotes with my hands. So, are we going to get into an investigation into Mark Milley's act of treason? Also, Nancy Pelosi requested that Trump would lose the nuclear launch codes, which is overriding civilian control of the military. And Mark Milley wanted to do the same thing, override civilian control of the military. Are we going to get a commission on that? Are we going to get a committee on that? I think we should get a committee on that. But it's not only just, I guess, this weird quasi acknowledgement of reality that AOC just did. There's also this. I have to get into a rape hoax that the corporate press and my identitarian aristocrat betters decided to engage in. The mother of Ohio 10-year-old rape victim tells Telemundo's Maria Vargas Pian that the child is fine and everything they say about Gerson Flores is a lie. Now, before I get into this clip, I'm going to go into this a bit further. Republican Attorney General says he'll investigate Indiana doctor who provided care to 10-year-old rape victim. Oh, wow, that sounds terrible. That sounds absolutely terrible. Dr. Caitlin Bernard, an obstetrician gynecologist in Indianapolis, you mean an abortionist, has told multiple outlets that she provided care to a 10-year-old after a child abuse doctor in Ohio contacted her. The child was 6 weeks and 3 days into the pregnancy, Bernard said. After the Roe v. Wade was overturned last month, a wave of state-level abortion restrictions took effect, including in a state that bans abortion after about 6 weeks of pregnancy, with no exceptions for rape or incest. Abortion in Indiana is banned after 22 weeks of pregnancy, with some exceptions for medical emergencies. Now, this is what I like to call a flat-out lie. A flat-out lie. Ohio does allow exceptions for rape and incest, and you can get an abortion. You could basically carry the baby to you could basically carry it to term. Okay, there are no timeline restrictions for abortion with regards to rape and incest in Ohio. So it's just a flat out lie. Quote, "We are gathering the evidence as we speak, and we're going to fight this to the end, including looking into her license if she failed to report. And in Indiana, it's a crime to intentionally not report," State Attorney General Todd Rokita said on Fox News on Wednesday night. "This is a child, and there is a strong public interest in understanding if somebody under the age of 16 or under the age of 18, or really any woman is having an abortion in our state, and then if a child is being sexually abused, of course parents need to know, authorities need to know, public policy experts need to know." Now, before I get into this video, Ohio 10-year-old's alleged illegal immigrant rapist, 27, was listed as a minor in abortionist report to the state. Oh, wow. It's almost as if Politico is an institution that has been colonized by pseudo-benevolent identitarian aristocrats. Very strange. The Guatemalan illegal immigrant charged with raping and impregnating an Ohio 10-year-old who traveled to Indiana for an abortion was listed as a minor in the report the Indiana-based abortionist sent to the authorities. Fuentes confessed to the crime to the Columbus Police Department investigators, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost said in a statement on Wednesday. However, the 10-year-old's mother said her daughter was fine, and everything they say about Gerson Flores is a lie when confronted Thursday by a Telemundo reporter. When the mother of an alleged rape victim said the rape didn't happen and that everything they're saying about the alleged rapist is a lie, the rape probably didn't happen. I can't believe I have to say this, but, you know, mothers tend to be very caring for their children. I know, shocking fact. You know, no mother ever cares about their kids. That's, you know, haven't you ever read Rousseau? No, I'm kidding. That's a very layered philosophy joke. But even, like, this is look at the headline. Okay, I understand that I have a lot of what is it? I have a primarily American audience, and I have a a very substantial Northern European audience. But look at this headline: accused of violating a girl child of 10 years in Ohio. Now, wow, that sounds very bad, Telemundo. That sounds incredibly terrible. That sounds awful. That sounds gross. That sounds disgusting. I can't believe this evil immigrant would do such a thing. Here, I remember this talking point. I remember hearing that for to like give, I guess, justification, if you're listening to this on Spotify, air quotes with my hands, okay, for like lynchings or whatever, people would say that brown people raped like a white girl or whatever. And that probably happened a couple of times, but like to say that like it happened every single time, it's a sort of Hollywood. It's a sort of Hollywood. It's a sort of Hollywood racism problem that I've talked about before. All previous Trevor reports linked down below in the description. But this seems to be. It seems to be this. Now, he's an illegal immigrant, which means he's here illegally, which means he shouldn't have been here he shouldn't have been here in the first place. And well, I guess if anything's going to happen, I'm going to side with the mother on whether or not I'm going to have to side with the mother on this one, which okay. But let's actually listen to the video.
¿La niña vivía aquí también?
Sí, pero ella está bien. Todo lo que están diciendo en contra de él es mentira.
Ya. ¿Y la niña, usted es familiar de la niña o
Es
solamente?
mi hija.
La señora quien se negó a dar su nombre y quien ocultó su rostro.
All right, there might be people listening on Spotify. Look, all previous Trevor reports link down below in the description, and if you see it on screen, clickable link down below in the description. You can click the hyperlinked word on the Spotify description. This is a website for the show notes, as it were. But it's just one of those. I've already said it before. And so here's the thing. If you were a leftist and you were principally on the left, right? Like all left-wing philosophy is inherently predicated on the supremacy of reason, and there is no truth but power. So I don't understand how you can be principally left-wing, because that's that's an inherently anti-principle stance. But if you're a sort of cultural leftist, as it were, what you would say in this position is, hey, you would essentially call this a lynching. This is 10 times closer to what a lynching is than whatever happened to Jussie Smollett, which, spoiler alert, with the Jussie Smollett story, if you don't already know, absolutely nothing. So if you were on the left, you could make the argument that Gerson, whatever. I'm not switching to Spanish while I'm speaking English. Okay. Is the victim of a modern lynching. You could make the argument. Now I prefer the argument that Gerson Fuentes is here illegally. And if he's going to be treated like a rapist for the sake of trying to create a hoax to dunk on Republicans, then perhaps Gerson Fuentes would be better off somewhere else, especially if he's already here illegally. I feel like he could probably make ends meet and live a more fulfilling life in literally anywhere else. Because not only is he not supposed to be here because of the laws, he's clearly not being treated very well. I don't know why he's still here, but I don't know. Let's move on. Let's move on. Elon Musk has doubled down on his support for Ron DeSantis to win the presidency in 2024. Quote, he doesn't even need to campaign. Well, the thing is, Biden didn't campaign and he won. If people don't campaign and they win, that's evidence of something wrong, something bad, but here's the thing. With my opinion on Trump versus DeSantis for who should be the president of the or who should be the Republican nominee for 2024. I'm fine with either one, but I do think he would lose Florida. And I think he would lose not because people in Florida don't like him. They love him. They can't get enough of him. They're crazy about him. He's literally the perfect governor or whatever, and he would do a fantastic job as president. But I think the people in Florida would be like, nah, we'd prefer if he was our governor. He's also running for re-election, so he would be in public office in 2024. While he was running in 2024 for the throughout the campaign and stuff like that, which That's a lot on something like running to be the president of the country while running a state. While being a governor of a state, especially a state like Florida with a large population and things like that. Like that's kind of an uphill battle. It really is. But if he does decide to do that, good for him. And if he comes out of it with no gray hairs, that's good for him as well, I suppose. But I think, but there's this almost mythical, I suppose, prospect of Trump running in 2024 and winning. That because it would seem that like his run as president seems to be honestly, read The Art of the Deal. It's his autobiography or whatever. I highly recommend people read it because his presidency seems to be going exactly like The Art of the Deal. But I'm kind of crunched for time, so I can't really explain that. And I got to get into Congress passing laws to interfere in the well-regulated militia. Now, well-regulated in the 18th century means of good virtue, right? Because here's the thing: if you write something for future reference, but that future reference is interpreted by the way things are defined in the future instead of in the past, then there is really no point in writing things for future reference. Now is there? But anyway, so the Constitution is not a living, breathing document. Things can be added to it and subtracted to it, but the Constitution is the law of the land. And so this bill, House Resolution 1808, and let's get into it. The term semi-automatic pistol means any repeating pistol that utilizes a portion of the energy of a firing cartridge to extract the firing cartridge case and chamber the next round, and requires a separate pull of the trigger to fire each cartridge. Now that's a pretty scary. Oh man, that's so scary. What a scary way of phrasing that. Do you know what that means? You pull the trigger, a bullet goes outwards. That's a revolver. That's all pistols. That's literally whatever. The term semi-automatic shotgun means any repeating shotgun that utilizes a portion of the energy of a firing cartridge to extract the fired cartridge case and chamber the next round, and requires a separate pull of the trigger to fire each cartridge. The term semi-automatic assault weapon means any of the following, regardless of country of manufacturer or caliber of ammunition expected. A semi-automatic rifle that has a magazine that is not fixed. Do you know what a not fixed magazine is? It means you can take out the magazine, load bullets into the magazine, and then put it back into the gun. It's a pistol grip. A forward grip. So if you got a thing, if you have the gun, right, and you put the thing here with the pistol grip, and you have a spot on the other side of the rifle that you can hold it, so that if you're an elderly woman trying to defend yourself and your community from a bunch of insurrectionary racist communists trying to violently pillage your working class community, if you have all of these things to prevent the recoil from breaking every bone in your body because you're an elderly woman, can't do that anymore. That's an assault. That's an assault weapon. A semi-automatic is just a scary term that means is it a gun? Like, semi-automatic is basically just a gun. A fully automatic is a modified type of gun, where instead of each bullet firing out one trigger, one shot, You hold it down, and after a certain amount of time, eventually the magazine in the gun will empty. Now, the term magazine is used in here. I tend to use the term clip, not because it's a proper way of saying it. It's just an easier way of phrasing it. And I'm a Yankee, so I can do what I want. Let's see. A grenade launcher. I don't know anywhere I can buy grenades in the United States to load into my attachable grenade launcher. But okay, whatever. A barrel shroud, a threaded barrel. So things that make the gun more efficient and easier to use, so that if you're in a situation where you need to defend yourself, you can survive easier. Like, okay. A semi-automatic rifle that has a fixed magazine with a capacity to accept more than 10 rounds, except for an attached tubular device designated to accept and capable of operating only with 22 caliber rimfire ammunition. So basically, most magazines are out of the question. Any combination of parts, component, device, attachment, or accessory that is designed or functions to accelerate the rate of fire of a semi-automatic firearm, but not convert the semi-automatic firearm into a machine gun. So in other words, if this applies to so many things. By the time this is already half of all guns essentially. A semi-automatic pistol that has a magazine that is not a fixed magazine and does not have any of the following: a threaded barrel, a second pistol grip. Okay. A barrel shroud, the capacity to accept a detachable magazine at some location outside of the pistol grip. A semi-automatic version of an automatic firearm. That's banned too. That's crazy. So now we're at 80% of all guns. So a manufactured weight of 50 ounces or more when unloaded. Are you kidding me? Okay, so now we're at 85% of all guns. This literally just bans the Desert Eagle, and I think some 45s are you could find a 45 that is definitely more than 50 ounces when unloaded. A stabilizing brace or similar component. So the things that help the elderly use weapons without breaking every bone in their body. Wow. Thank you for trying to ban that. Really, really appreciate it. A semi-automatic pistol with a fixed magazine that has the capacity to accept more than 10 rounds. Well, here's the thing. If I am, let's go for some examples. If I'm a black man being chased by a lynch mob, I'd probably want more than 10 rounds. Some of those rounds are going to miss in the heat of the moment of being chased down by a violent, angry mob. If I'm and let's do another example. If I am a working class if I am a lower middle class, working class teenager defending my community from a bunch of communists and race radical extremists that are actively, violently pillaging my community, and then a pedophile and two rapists confront me after calling me the N-word a bunch of times, despite not being black. They're just trying to piss me off and agitate me. And then hours later, they confront me again and begin to chase me. And then one of them pulls a gun on me. I'm basically talking about Kyle Rittenhouse here. Okay. But, there's all sorts of reasons why you would want more than 10 rounds. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse did not really fire that many rounds, but if he was being chased by more evil people trying to murder him for defending his community from their violence, I suppose. But anyway, a semi-automatic shotgun that has the capacity to utilize a magazine that is not a fixed magazine. So, okay, a fixed magazine is you load the bullets into the gun. A non-fixed magazine is you have a magazine and you put it into the gun, and then you pull with the example of a pistol, you put the thing into the thing, okay, and then you pull the thing back, okay, and for a Lego movie reference, you put the thing in the other thing, and then you save the universe, right? But they're just trying to ban as many guns as possible. We're about to get into the list. Doesn't have any of the following: a folding telescope or detachable stock. Okay. People have stocks onto the guns, especially like adjustable or detachable stocks, so that when big guns that you put up to your arm, because when you're defending yourself, you probably don't want to break your arm firing the gun at the evil people trying to lynch you, or you probably don't want to break your arm defending yourself from a government that is trying to violently suppress your protest. Trying to violently suppress, say, your farmers' revolt in northern Europe. Perhaps maybe any shotgun with revolving cylinder. Jesus. All of the following rifles, copies, duplicates, variants, or altered facsimiles with the capacity of any such weapon thereof. All types of AKs, including AK, AK-47, AK-47S, AK-74, AKM, AKS, ARM, MAC-90, MISR, NHM-90, NHM-91, Rock River Arms LAR-47, SA-85, SA-93, Vector Arms 4K-47, Vector Arms AK-47, VEPR, WASR-10, and WUM. That's a lot of letters, but let's just scroll. Let's just keep scrolling. Let's keep scrolling to all of these guns that they're banning while claiming they're not trying to ban your guns. This is just all these guns. This is 99% of all guns that they're trying to ban. That Congress is trying to do. Talked a lot about insurrection in the beginning of this Trevor report, and this disgusting transgression to the laws and promises of our land. This is an insurrection. This bill. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. People are going to die because they're not going to be able to exercise their right to self-defense. Because a bunch of, I guess, pardon the Yankee term, because the city folk don't like the loud noise. Disgusting. I'm going to leave it at that. In the meantime, my name is Trevor Brown, and you've just watched the Trevor Report. Do click the Linktree down below in the description that I was forced to make because the Linktree banned my Linktree for opposing black nationalism, so I made my new one down below in the description. All of you brilliant viewers out there, my name is Trevor Brown. I am the editor-in-chief of Acropolis News Network because I can give myself whatever name and title I want because I own it. You could go to theacropolisnews.com or you could go to This Just Trevor on whatever Liberty platform is your choice. Except for the ones I'm not on because I haven't seen them pretty much.
Acropolis News. News from the Acropolis.